Recent wildfires have people checking their home insurance policies to see what is and is not covered. Insurance companies say now is the time to reassess your policy to avoid surprises down the line. Amanda Dean is with the Insurance Bureau of Canada, here to talk wildfires and home insurance. So glad you could come in today. What has wildfire season, as it's become known now, what does it mean in the insurance world?
It means everyone is on high alert. We are watching for what is happening, when it's happening, and when will people start to have questions about insurance. So right now, as the wildfires are still actively out of control in some circumstances, we're working to ensure that the officials on the ground, such as the Red Cross, municipal officials, even provincial officials, have some basic information about additional living expenses, what people can expect from their insurance policies, so that they can focus on what they need to right now, which is being the first responders in this type of event. We will gladly be the second responders when it comes to getting people's lives back together.
One of the first questions people might have is, I have house insurance. Does it cover wildfires?
It does. In terms of house insurance, condo insurance, tenants insurance, fire is covered, wild or otherwise. So that's one thing you should understand as a homeowner, especially if you're among those who are currently under an evacuation order. In terms of what those limits are, that will be subject to your particular policy. So you need to have a conversation when the time comes with your insurance representative in terms of what coverage you have, what the limits are. But the structure, any outbuildings such as sheds, garages, contents, so everything in your kitchen, the mattress in your bedroom, the sofa in your living room, that will be covered under contents coverage of your policy. And then the additional living expense portion, that's what will get you through these evacuation orders. It covers those expenses over and above what you would normally be paying out. So hotel bills, if you need the services of a laundromat, for example, keep all of those receipts. It will be covered under the additional living expenses portion of your policy. If you don't have room on your credit card and you're in one of these situations, give your insurance representative a call. You might be eligible for some immediate assistance.
Okay. I've heard insurance representatives say, photograph everything in your house. Is that to help the homeowner argue in favor of a proper settlement, a replacement cost or damages in the event that they do have a fire?
No, it's to make the claims process go smoother. So if you have a list of items that you have in your home, then insurers can source like, kind, and quality items if need be. So one of the great ideas to do at this point, especially if the flames are lapping at the boundaries of your community, walk through your home with your mobile device. Take photos, or better yet, a video. And as you're walking through each room, list, okay, this is my living room. I have a TV, 2 end tables, a sofa, a chair. Go to the kitchen, cutlery, dishes, pots, pans, etc. Having that itemized list will help, especially in the worst case scenario, you lose it all. Because you will be asked by your insurer, and they need this. This is not meant to be anything arduous, but it's needed in order to process the claim, a proof of loss. So that proof of loss form will come if you are to file a claim. Having that video, having that record will make that process go more smoothly. It may be a bit emotional to do as you're preparing for an evacuation order. It's going to be a lot worse if indeed you do need to file a claim.
For some people, it's becoming strangely familiar because we've had the wildfires not too long ago in Nova Scotia, including the one in Tantallon. Were there any lessons learned there in terms of getting insurance payments out to people more quickly? How long might people expect to wait?
Certainly, insurers have had a lot of exercise in these types of events right across the country in the past number of years, and all of the insurers that operate in Atlantic Canada, the vast majority are national insurers. So they're able to tap into the expertise and what they've learned from a number of events, not just the Hammonds Plains fire, though there were a lot of learnings there, but elsewhere as well. So certainly they have processes in place, especially if people need to tap into that additional living expense money a little bit more quickly or in an upfront basis in terms of getting some of those dollars in hands very quickly that folks are entitled to according to their insurance policy, but also just in terms of how to help people through the claims process. It's an incredibly emotional time, especially after a wildfire event. How to help them through that process, help them get back to where they were prior to loss. And there's a lot of different scenarios. There's lots of different homeowner policies out there. Some folks may have a policy where they can get a cash payout, for example. So that would be an ACV policy, an actual cash payout policy. In those cases, the policy will pay, if there's a mortgage, will pay the lender of the mortgage first, and then the homeowner the remainder of the money. So again, it puts you back in the position you were financially prior to loss.
Good time, as always, to review your insurance policies, and good to talk to you today about this. Thank you.
Great, thank you.